This is Dr. Kevin Blau from Blau Family Chiropractic here in Portage, Wisconsin. I'm here with Larry Crowley with Will's Hometown Pharmacy in Portage, Wisconsin as well. And we're glad to have him back. There's not often that you have a pharmacist that's, and Larry says this a lot, a dispenser, dispensing, but he's taking this to the next level. There is a better way. And he's always striving to give the best knowledge and information he can to the people that come into his store, clients, patients. I've sent many patients to him in regards to things, literally, I just feel it's kind of out of my ballpark. And so I send him there with information and knowledge of healthy lifestyle. He takes it to the next level because the beauty of having a pharmacist that will do things like this is he has a knowledge of medications. We know in our society this is a big deal, right? There's a lot of medications that maybe are needed, but then probably that much or more may not be needed, that can be resolved through healthy lifestyle, right? And so we're going to kind of get into this, and I'm going to pose the question to Larry. Anti-aging, myth or fact? What would you say to that?
Anti-aging, definitely a fact. There's lots of things that we can do to keep our bodies healthy. And with that, it's just really important to put the healthy pieces in to keep our body functioning well. So like anything else, if the healthy piece is there, our bodies keep working. But if there's a deficiency in any way, the aging process is accelerated because something's not there.
Yeah. Well, and who wants to age quickly? I guess raise your hand or whatever, but that's not me. I don't want to age any faster than I am. We always want to slow that clock down. But what is the clock? Here's a good question. What is the clock? That's a good question. Well, our bodies break down. So you got a banana laying on the table for 3 weeks. It changes, right? It breaks down, right? So we all have been conceived and we grow, but we don't look the same as when we were a little baby. Why is that? Why does that happen? Well, hey, things happen in nature. Nature is out there breaking things down, right? Nothing ever stays the same. It's a little mantra I tell patients. Hey, either you're getting better or you're getting worse. Nothing stays the same, right? And so our bodies are constantly working to reorganize itself and bring it back to a neutral and maintain proper healing and proper regulation. That's always happening, right? But there are forces outside of us that want to break us down, right? And I'm going to give you a few examples, and then I'm going to let Larry kind of speak to this because he has some technology, but we want to understand really the problem first. What's the problem? We age, right? Well, yeah, that's a problem, maybe faster than we want. That might be a challenge as well. But what does that? Well, I'm going to give a few examples. You could talk about the dirty dozen. There's all these things that we do. We eat too much sugar. Maybe we get too much sun, right? To the point where we burn. I mean, it actually damages our skin. Smoking, bad news. Chewing, bad news. Stress, bad news. I mean, we could go on and on. I think everybody knows these things that don't bring health. They bring breakdown. And so then we're constantly fighting to build up. So we call this oxidation. So I'm going to let the master here work on this. What is oxidation? Probably nobody's ever heard of that word or heard much of it. But you'll understand this antioxidants when you understand oxidation first. So maybe you can explain what is this aging process or this breaking down? What's happening?
And just to back up just a bit, the nice thing about your body is really good at repairing itself. So your body is always trying to keep functioning well and repairing itself. So one of the important pieces is you have to put all the pieces in so your body functions okay. But when you're talking about oxidative stress, those are the stresses that are on our system that prevent our body from functioning well. So there's things that we do that increase oxidative stress, and there's things that we can do to alleviate those stresses or allow your body to function more efficiently by getting rid of those free radicals, which is the oxidative stress.
Yeah, and free radicals is kind of just like this. When you're not whole, you become broken apart. Okay, these free radicals are flying around doing damage, right? It's like little bees stinging you, going around, and they're breaking you down. You have to work to bring this up. And I talk a lot about in my office, the 3 F's. These are my 3 F's and I think this will fill in good with what we're talking about. We have to have proper form to have proper function, and we need to fuel it properly. So if we have those 3 things happening, we're going to talk about fueling right now, okay? But if we overwork, we're going to break down. We need the materials in there to build up the house, right? If you don't have the wood there, you can't build the house, right? So you got to have it there. So what we're talking about is breakdown. We all understand breakdown if we've aged. You can see the difference. Just look at pictures. As you get older, you can see you look different, right? There's breakdown. Skin. Skin is a good one because we can see it. It's really easy to see, but it happens inside of our body as well to different organs and things of that sort that cause breakdown. So that's not good. So what do we do to combat this breakdown? One is lifestyle changes, right? Quit doing the bad things. Quit killing yourself. Simple thing. Quit doing the energy drainers, the things that drain energy. You know what they are. I've listed out a number of them. Maybe you want to list a few more that you see with your patients or clients that come in. You do some lifestyle coaching a little bit, right? With people. So maybe you can drop some gold for us, Larry, and let us know maybe some things that you're seeing out there that, hey, just quit doing this, and hey, maybe this aging process can be slowed down.
Yeah, and so at the cellular level, so our cells are cells, and our cells are primarily trying to do the same thing. So the cells work to produce ATP, and ATP is the function of a cell that's functioning properly. So with the supplement piece of it, it's really important to put all the pieces in again so your cells can function okay, which are the healthy fats and different supplements. But the negative things that cause stress in our body are the challenge, and to alleviate those, rest is really important. And I feel that from a pharmacy perspective, I'm always talking about supplements, but there's that's a small piece of it. Just to break it down, rest is crucial and rest is critical. So your body does a lot of recovering and repairing when you're sleeping. So it's important to rest for 7 or 8 hours every night. Exercise is key. It's like anything else. When your body's in motion, your body's working, your body is better that way. And then with foods, I feel that we're all pretty comfortable with the healthy foods that go in. But just to start and to summarize, our bodies do real well with plants. We evolved eating plants and meat. So as long as we put plants in and healthy proteins in, our bodies seem to do pretty good. The sugar and wheat piece is the piece that seems to confuse our body and doesn't help at all. So when we're talking about a scale and a balance, if we can just kind of flip the scale a little bit and just incorporate more things in our diet and just flip a little bit, it seems like our body functions well when we can put in more of the healthy things and try to just decrease the amount of sugar and wheat that goes in our body.
Yeah, and I would add maybe water is a good thing. Water seems to be we tend to think we got to drink when we're thirsty. We need water to flush out these free radicals, right? If they're building up, you gotta get rid of them, right?
Right.
But we want to encapsulate these little free radicals, and there's a way to do that. And we're going to talk about antioxidants, okay? And so we can eat better, right? We can eat in a way that gives us the protection that we need. But we may have to first find out, well, do we have that in our body, right? Do we have what we need to combat the junk pile that starts piling up? When you look at your garbage on the side of the road, the flies weren't there. They came because of the breakdown, right? They came because of the break. So we have to work on building you up and preserving as best we can. And so we can do that through eating right and supplementation. So what I want Larry to go over, because he has some technology, and I really want him to maybe just take a brief explanation of going, if I want to have antioxidants in my body, meaning if I want to combat or go against oxidation, which is the aging process, we need to have antioxidants in our body. And there's a way that we can measure that. We can measure what we eat and what we put in our body, but we want to know that it gets out to the peripheries. It gets out to the points where we need it to the body, right? And there's a way to measure this, right? There's a way to measure, we'll let Larry explain what he's measuring and what does that mean to us to have a gauge, a measurable way to understand, am I doing the most I can to fuel my body?
So the carotenoid levels are as a level to weight to measure the antioxidants in your body. I think society talks a lot about blood pressure, cholesterol, and weight, and those are important things. But the level of antioxidants in your system determines or has a lot to do with overall body health. And the higher the level of antioxidants, the more cleaning cells you have in your body. So we have a scanner at the pharmacy now. It's called an S3 scanner, and it determines the levels of antioxidants in your system. So I'm pretty fascinated with this, and that this is the first time that we have a test that can actually determine a level of antioxidants. And the nice thing about it, it's a number, and you can adjust things to a number. So depending on what happens during the week and during the month, you can increase and decrease the amounts of antioxidants in your system, but you actually have a number to know how different things you're doing are affecting your antioxidant levels.
Yeah.
So it's a night scan. It's a skin scan. So it's simple in that it's a 30-second scan. It's the skin scan. So it determines the level of antioxidants in the palm of your hand. So it's a simple, fast scan that's done at the pharmacy.
Nice. And when people think of antioxidants, I think, we've been talking about this, to kind of time ourselves here. We're dealing with this COVID or a coronavirus situation, and we talk about immune system and things. A lot of people talk about one of the antioxidants is vitamin C, right? That's an antioxidant. We want to have that in our system as much as we can. It's a water-soluble vitamin, meaning you need it every day. You need to get it in every day because you don't store this up, right? So you need to get this every day. But we also have vitamin E is another antioxidant. You talked about carotenoids. That's beta carotene. Has anybody ever heard of that? Lycopene, lutein. All of these things are carotenoids that you're trying to measure, right? You're measuring this with this system. So you've seen this on TV and supplements. They've been putting this stuff in there for a while. There's a reason for that because these are antioxidants. And the key is as you get older, you need them just as much as when you were younger. It just seems like more when you get older because you can see the manifestation of the aging process. Maybe you can speak to that, these foods that are already out there and that are antioxidants that's there to protect us.
Yeah, and so with the vegetables in our diet, I think one of the most important things is to have a variety of lots of different types of plant sources in your diet. Vegetables, it's the color of the rainbow. You want to have as many different colored vegetables as possible. And I think sometimes with our traditional Midwestern diet, our plate is primarily carbohydrates and starches. And if we can change that and have be 50% vegetables and 50% something else, so just increase the amount of vegetables you put in, that's really beneficial. And the nice thing about your body is, again, you just have to put the pieces in. So if you can put a variety of vegetables in, that's really beneficial to start. Supplements are always used second. And it's nice to use a supplement. And a supplement is probably an easier and a faster way to put the specific thing in your system. I would say that it's not as good for you as the raw, natural, whole food that you put in. But again, it's a combination of both. So when you're putting in lots of antioxidants, be it vegetable antioxidants, vegetable protein, vegetable carbohydrates, that helps your body function better. But again, the nice thing about the S3 scanner is we can determine a level and we can adjust or increase the level of antioxidants through food sources. And, that's one way to do it. And if that's not getting to where you want it to be, we can use pharmaceutical supplements also.
Right. And I agree with you. Anytime you can get real live foods, eating live foods instead of dead foods is always kind of probably the better move. If you can do that, it sounds so simple. If you want to be alive, eat live food. I mean, it seems simple, but if you go by that idea, you go a long ways. And a couple things that I wanted to go over so people have actionable things. You listed off many things. I'm going to go through a couple. What are the best antioxidants that maybe we can eat? I always like to use, if it has berry at the end, that's probably pretty good. Anything that has berry at the end and it's colorful, eat it. Kale, red cabbage, beans are good. Beets and spinach. Spinach is good. The darker the green, the better. Everybody's gonna love this, dark chocolate. has some antioxidants in it, right? Pecans, red cabbage, we went over that. So if these aren't in your normal routine, I even have pecans here. I mean, I did a little search. So that's about everything. I mean, if you can't find something in there to eat, and just do that on a regular basis is important. Supplements are supplements. It's supplementing a good diet. So, and Larry is right. I'm very much of the viewpoint of as much as you can eat. Very difficult to do in our society now. A lot of our ground is leached and it's got chemicals and different things kind of going on that create free radicals, right? Just if you don't clean your vegetables, you got free radicals with insecticides and pesticides and things of that sort. So you do have to clean things and make it clean. That's important as well.
Yeah, and two other fun foods that you mentioned last time, which are very, very beneficial. Radishes. Radishes are really high in vitamin C, and onions. That's the glutathione that we had talked about before. But completely agree that it's challenging in that a lot of the nutrients are not in the soil anymore. So if the nutrient is in the soil, when the plant grows, it's not in the plant. So that's probably where the pharmaceutical piece comes in, is we can add some of those things into your diet regimen that aren't available in food sources. Vitamin D and magnesium are two that really come to mind right off the bat to supplement things that we don't get in our food.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Kind of my base nutrition that I recommend for patients is nutrient-wise is water. I like to call that a nutrient, but water is important. And then fish oil and vitamin D3 are my base nutrition. Our latitude and where we live is just chronically bad. We just don't get what we need. The next one on the list might be magnesium. That is, everybody's low. It's just that you can go across the board. Everybody's low, and that really, and you find these in the darker green vegetables. The darker, the better. You find high levels of this, so you can never go wrong. Go plant a garden. Do whatever you got to do. Go to the farmers market. We have one. It's starting in the beginning of the summer here, so go there. It's right downtown. So go get all your antioxidants. It's important. So how do you know how much you need? Hey, I guess what? We have technology that does that. We have the scanner that can do that. So I encourage people that are listening to this interview, hey, if you have questions, share this information to people that you know and love, because you really care when you give information out that's going to change somebody's life. You may not have known about this, that there is a marker, a way to check your level of health. Not like, am I diseased already? What is my level of health? What's my marker? And having numbers in the metrics is really important, so then you can gauge what I'm doing is right or wrong.
And we talk a lot about the feel better aspect of life too. And some days you wake up and you don't feel the way you want to, and the next day you wake up and you feel better. And the nice thing about incorporating lots of healthy things in your diet is when you wake up in the morning, you'll say to yourself, boy, I feel better today than I did yesterday. And as soon as you start feeling better every day, that's your body healing itself and repairing itself and keeping itself healthy. So we talk a lot about that, about, doing things to feel better each day instead of having it go the opposite way. And again, I feel like that's a really good indicator too of overall health. If you wake up and feel like you want to do what you want to do and you feel better, I think the feel better piece of our life is important also.
Yeah, a good way to put that, an analogy I like to use is you can't remodel a house that's on fire. If your house is on fire and you got all these free radicals around, how can you ever repair? You're constantly putting out a fire. You can't get ahead. You can't make that house or your body function in the way it was designed to function. And it can always function better. You can always be better. Even elite athletes can be better, right? You can always be better. So if you're not striving to be better, then hey, time passes you by, right? It's passing you and you're standing still. And again, nothing in nature stays the same, right? Either it gets better or it gets worse. And so if you do nothing, it just gets worse. So I'm here to help spread some hope and healing for people, and a way to objectify this as much as you can. Beyond just feeling better, you can measure it. So Larry, maybe you can let everybody know, hey, how can you check this out? I see it right there. It's at your place of business. It's there. It'll be there tomorrow. It'll be there today. So maybe you can tell people, how do you go about getting this tested? How do you get it interpreted? Do you interpret the results? do you provide some information and guidance with using that number? Or is there a way you can help them understand some lifestyle changes?
Yep, and at the pharmacy, we're here from 8 to 6. We're here all the time, so everybody's welcome to walk in whenever they have time and use the scanner. And then we talk a lot about health and wellness nutrition at the pharmacy. So with everything, with most things, it's an ongoing conversation. So we're here all the time, and the doors are always open, and you're welcome to stop in, and we can talk about different things that affect your health in a positive way.
Okay. Do you need would you prefer people to set up an appointment for that, or how do you function your place so that that they can get a good use of your time and their time?
Yeah, so we do pharmacy consults if that's something that people want to do, and that's scheduled. So that's a more in-depth conversation. If it's a faster conversation, a quick conversation, a 5-minute conversation, you're welcome to stop in whenever you have time. We have everybody in the pharmacy talks about nutrition and wellness, so it's not only myself. So you're welcome to talk to people at Soda Fountain who talk about nutrition and wellness, and different people in the pharmacy. So to answer your question, everybody's welcome to come in whenever they have time to have the scan done. There's a $20 fee for each individual scan. And with that, the conversations lead to multiple different things, and we can have it evolve into whatever people want it to evolve into.
Got it. So, hey, Larry, this is what I call the call to action, man. This is the real deal here in Portage, Wisconsin. We have technology that can help with hope and healing in your life, really from a very cellular level, from the very cells. So every time a cell reproduces, it can be better than it was before. It reproduces good cells instead of the junky old reproduction of oxidized cells. And I know those are a lot of big words for you, but just at the very end, anti-aging, fact or myth? Well, it's a fact. We age, but we can slow the clock down a little bit, and through good eating, lifestyle, and I think you just have to make that decision that you want to be better. Once you've decided that, if you've been listening to myself or Larry or any of the other people I've interviewed, we're all here to help you be really the best version of yourself with hope and healing for you, your family, and the community is important. So I appreciate you, Larry, for being a beacon in our community and willing to step out, not just dispensing, but also dispensing educational information, and having an area for health and wellness in your facility is awesome. And I hope to come down sometime and help you out with that, provide the information I can, because this, when you hear it from different people, it just sometimes it lands good, in certain areas. So I appreciate it. I encourage everybody to check this out, stop in, do what you got to do. It sounds like it's pretty accessible. So I'll go with that. Any parting words for us, Larry?
No, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure talking to everybody. And again, we're in Portage and we're here all the time. So stop in and say hi.
Very good. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And my goal for you is that this brought hope and healing for you or somebody you know, and give them this information so they can be healthy and happy. And as I always say, be well.